Hi there and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to show you how to create a distortion patch on the Boss SY-300. By the time you finish this video, you should be able to create a distortion patch tailored to your own particular tastes, and also have a fair idea of how to create patches with multiple effects, and also how to incorporate the synthesized oscillators into your patches. So let's have a look and see how it's done. So the first thing you want to do is find a user adjustable patch. These are identifiable because they have a U at the front of the patch number, as opposed to the ones that have a P, which is preset. So we'll go back to U10, which is the one I wish to alter. And the next thing you need to do is press the Synth FX button. This will bring us to a signal path page, and you can highlight various modules within that page by using the select control, like so. And what we want to do is turn pretty much everything off at this stage, so we've got like a blank slate to deal with. So go to OSC2 and you'll notice that off on corresponds to this control here, and we can turn it off, and we know it's off because a dot appears there, a little circle, as opposed to a wave pattern which indicates that the oscillator is actually on. And we'll go to oscillator 3 and we'll turn it off also. The next thing we want to do is turn the rest of the modules off, so use the select to scroll over to anything else that's turned on. So that compression was turned on, we can turn it off. We can turn that chorus off, we can turn that delay off, and we can turn that reverb off. Okay, so oscillator 1 we've left turn on. Highlight it, go back to it and press the select button in, or the select control in at the top, just push on it, and then we'll have these windows here. These are the presets for oscillator 1, and what we want to do is go into wave pitch, and we want to change it. Right now it's on square, we want to change that around to input, so it corresponds to this first control here. So you can select quite a number of different things. We've got sine wave, saw, triangular, square, pulse width modulation, a detuned saw, and a noise oscillator. But we want it on input, so that the input jack is routed through, so that the actual raw signal from the guitar goes through our distortion effect. Then we need to press exit, and we'll just check these other parameters. So we'll go down to filter amp and we'll push the button in at the top, and we can see that it's set on a filter type. We want to put that on bypass. So each knob on the screen, or each control on the screen, corresponds to the control at the bottom of the screen, and we just want to turn that to bypass. If you've got this particular scenario where it's turned on, just turn it off like so. Press the exit button. We'll go down to LFO, which is a low frequency oscillator. Press the select control in, and we'll notice that the LFO is turned on. We'll just turn it off using this control here, and then we'll exit again. Then we'll go around to the sequencer and we'll check it as well. So push that control in. It's already turned off, so that's good. The very next thing we need to do is smooth out our signal path. As you can see, all three oscillators here are going together. It probably doesn't matter. It's up to you whether you want to alter it at this stage, or you can leave it the way it is. But we can scroll over just in case yours is in a configuration that you're not happy with. You can highlight this junction here, and type corresponds to this control, and we can change the way that the signal path is configured and go to something that we'd prefer. This one here is slightly more preferable, straight signal pass through. The other two oscillators are turned off. It wouldn't make any difference, okay, to us. The next thing we need to do is highlight the next module up here, which has got compression on it at the moment. And if you see, we've got off, on, type, and move. And what we want to do is change the type to OD, which is overdrive and distortion. So we can turn the type knob. As you can see, we've got chorus and delays and reverbs, compression, delay and rotary, I think, or no, delay and reverb, EQ, flanger, isolator, limiter, lo-fi, OD. And we can turn that one on. The next thing you need to do is actually go into that module so we can select what type of overdrive or distortion suits your particular taste. So at this point, I'd suggest you plug your guitar in so you can play through each sound and pick something that you like the sound of. So press the select button in and we can pick the particular type of distortion we'd like or that suits us most. Don't pay too much attention to the EQ of it, like whether it's got enough bass or enough high end or not at this stage, or whether it's got too much. Really just pay attention to the texture of the distortion and scroll through. Obviously, again, the control on the screen corresponds to the control underneath, and just scroll through till you find something that you like the sound of. So we'll just go with fat distortion today. So I'll plug the guitar in, just pick it up, and you can pick the amount of, or choose the amount of drive. But I'll keep it fairly low. And then you can alter the tone as well. And the level, so that you can level it against the other effects or the other patches that you have. If you look up here, you'll notice that there's a little tab, and there's actually extra pages there, and if you turn the select control, you can go to the next page, and we can adjust the amount of bottom end. And we can turn a solo mode off or on, which lifts the volume. And you can also mix the direct level in with it. Makes it sound very poppy, like, because you get the natural or the raw sound mixed in there, so you get a kind of more of a pop from the clean sound. And the solo level, so when you click onto solo, you can control the level of that. Then next we go to the third one, and it's like an amp simulator. Doesn't really do much. Then we go to the next page, and we've got a noise suppressor there, which I can verify works really well, and you can set the threshold and release on that guy. Next we want to exit out of that, and we'll go back in actually, so press the Synth FX button again, and we can go through. You can put other effects on there, like a chorus, if you so wish. We can also add delay, reverb, and a bunch of other effects. I actually go through those other effects. I'll put the link to that video up here. So we could put some reverb, delay, various other things in there as well, or we can just keep it raw and rely on the reverb from our guitar amp. So say at this point you weren't 100% satisfied with the EQ of the distortion. What we can do is go to this next module and bring the cursor over it, and we'll actually turn it on. So we'll go to the off on and actually turn that one on, and it comes up right now as a chorus, but we can scroll through the type control and make it an EQ. Then we press the select in with it highlighted, or the cursor over it. We press the select in, and then we get basically an equalizer. So we've got the low gain, the high gain, which we can adjust. So that's 100 Hertz, that's 10 kilohertz. We have the level of those. Then by scrolling the select, as you can see, there's some tabs up here. We can go to another page. We can adjust the low mid frequency. So basically this is selecting the frequency that you'd wish to cut or boost. And then the Q, so that's the width of the boost or cut. So it may be a very peaky narrow band, or it may be a very wide area that you're going to boost or cut. And then you've got the gain, and if you go into negative numbers it's a cut, you go into positive numbers it's a boost. Then we go to the next page, and then we've got a high frequency. It's exactly the same scenario. Select the frequency, select basically the width or the Q of the filter. So narrow or wide, and the gain, of course, same deal. And then we've got a low cut and a high cut. So this kind of simulates the effect of a speaker, in that a speaker doesn't really, or an instrument speaker anyway, doesn't really go much below like about 100 Hertz or so, depending on the enclosure. So I can show you how that works. So that's the low cut, all the bass is pretty much gone. Then we've got the high cut, and they obviously overlap. Very muddy sound like that. You can use these to take that really harsh high end off, or a very like muddy, murky bottom end. So you could just put it up to say 80 Hertz, and then just take some of that sizzle out, so it's more of a crunch. And from here, once you've pretty much decided what you want, you can go through and turn other modules on. So we can add delay. We'll turn that on. So at this point, once you're 100% satisfied with the sound you're getting from this particular set of effects, we need to save it to a patch so that we can go back to it instantaneously. To do that, from this particular screen you need to exit out until you get back to the screen that displays the patch number and the patch name. We need to press right once and make sure that the icon right is highlighted. If it isn't, you can use the select control to actually ensure that's highlighted. Press right again, and it brings us to a screen where we can edit the actual patch name, and also we can change where that patch is going to. This first control is write to, so it will write to whatever patch is after the 2 written there with the colon there. So if we roll that, we can actually change it, so now it's going to patch 8 position, but we want to make sure it goes to 10 where we started from, because that's the one I want to write it to. So just be very wary of that, because you could easily fluff that up and end up writing that to something else, and maybe even wiping out something that you actually like to use, and then you'd have to try and recreate that. The next control is letters to numbers. So we got numbers down there, letters. The next one is uppercase and lowercase. So you'll notice that it goes lowercase when I scroll that. And the next one is the actual character. So if you look, the little cursor moves along as I turn this. To go to the next position, or the next character, the select control does that for you. So I might call this Distortion if you want to sit there and watch me do this. Just a little tip or a little hint, the space is actually on the left side of the A. So when you want that, just move that over to there and you get the space. Caught me out. Took me a few minutes to find it. And once you actually have that sorted out, so I've got the name that I want there, and I'm making sure that it's going to be written to the correct place, I'm right to go. So press right again, executing, and now it says Distortion. So now if I decide to go to another patch, I can then go back to the patch that I had just written. And it's all there. So I hope you found this interesting and informative. If you enjoyed it, like the damn video. Don't hesitate to share it, because if you liked it, somebody else is bound to like it. Don't hesitate to subscribe. Got over 100 videos now of everything to do with electric guitar. I'm hoping to do a few more videos on the SY-300 down the track. Have a great day. I'll catch you later.